What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been over a week since I made a video on the Video Game Fight School channel, but I have been focusing on a whole host of other things in life and just personal life, just kind of resting from the YouTube grind and other, obligations. So thank you for those who've been hanging with me and for those of you who've been very patient. There has been a lot going on in the Gotham Knights world, but I was happy to actually, basically wait for things to flesh out and bring a lot of this full circle for you guys to be able to engage in. So lately on the Twitters, a lot of our community members have been following very closely the Gotham Knights progression in terms of game testing, in terms of the developers even flexing that they've been even testing and even looking at the game. You know what I mean? I mean, this has been really interesting. So suspicious tension and all of the above, all parties involved. Big shout out to y'all for taking the time to do the work, for taking the time to document all these things. I really do appreciate you guys even tagging me and keeping me up to date. So for those of you who are not necessarily in on this, if you don't mind, a lot of, notifications on your Twitter, I will put suspicious tensions link, here for you guys so you guys can follow and just follow the conversations. A lot of things are, in a sense, still unconfirmed. A lot of things are speculations, but it will keep your ears informed as to things going on. So on the Steam database as of April 2nd, it's actually been put out here that it seems like the first round of official playtests are over and the app has been deleted from the Steam database. And the app, I mean the Gotham Knights game app itself. So there is confirmation that this game is in a place where they're actually playing and all of the above. In fact, if you even want to, throw down and get into more depth, Jeff Eleanor, who is actually, I think, one of the game directors or game producers, he put a screenshot, just a little picture of himself and his shoes. I think they're resting on like some kind of a little table or something. And he says, this is March 29th, up to some heroic play sessions today in the studio. Really like this PC. He's showing off his Ryzen build. This looks like some Ryzen build, probably a developer build or something. I don't know. It's a Threadripper. Oh, beautiful. This is a high end, baby. This is one of those, expensive CPUs that Ryzen makes that is used for game production and game development. So I'm sure he has a version of the game where he can just basically open Unreal Engine and click the play button on the top, and then the game is just basically popping for him. So these are very interesting things here within the Gotham Knights scene that we as the community are quite excited about. And I wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys because I feel like this is really interesting. Now, keep in mind that Hogwarts Legacy has been doing a lot more marketing in terms of the official sense. To me, the way it's structured, it seems like Hogwarts Legacy might get a July or August release before Gotham Knights. I don't know, even though they haven't confirmed a date, it seems like their marketing is just hitting a lot more harder in terms of all of that. Or maybe it's just a thing where they just happen to be keeping the limelight to themselves. The Lego Skywalker Saga, I think that comes out today, if I'm not mistaken. So the game pipeline is actually in flow for us right now, and it's really interesting to see. And for those of you who are here within the community who are even Suicide Squad fans, who are looking forward to Wonder Woman, a lot of these games have been quite, silent in a sense, except Wonder Woman has not necessarily been silent, and I'm going to make a video regarding that. Some of you have requested those videos, and I like Wonder Woman, but, I'm just taking it, bit by bit, and if they release something that I feel is relevant to us, I want to make a video and I want to talk about it. So for now, it appears Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knights, as they had promised, or Jason Kilar, who's the chief media CEO person or whatever it is at Warner Media, it seems like these are the directions that we're going. Now, I think with the changes so far that we're going to be seeing for the game, I think we're going to see some changes, honestly. A lot of things have been very, very hard hitting in the gaming industry, especially since Elden Ring was released. You see this initial footage of Gotham Knights with numbers flying everywhere. That's something that's pretty cool, but I think many companies might be rethinking their UI design overall and probably, approaching some simplicity. From what we see here in this particular whatever, Gotham Knights doesn't seem like it's overwhelmingly UI heavy. and that's beautiful. They might even give you the option to be able to turn off a lot of HUD aspects, a lot of things that you might not necessarily need. And I think that's also really beautiful as well. I'm looking forward to the way they're going to design this game as a dungeon crawler. For those of you who don't know, this game is going to have some dungeon crawling aspects to it. If you remember the Court of Owls reveal, that little gameplay where they make their way into this particular Court of Owls, maze or whatever it is underneath the tunnels, which is just their story. It just gives you those dungeon crawler vibes. So the very next phase, nonetheless, and this is something that I know I'm looking forward to personally, and I know many of you are looking forward to personally, is that we see some more gameplay. And not just this gameplay that we've had for 2 years now almost. We're talking about gameplay that takes us into a whole different area, where somebody does like a 7-8 minute presentation of even just roaming. I think that would probably inform us more than anything. And so this is just one aspect. Another thing too that I think could be supporting that gameplay is perhaps a discussion of mechanics. Hogwarts Legacy took the time to give an overview introduction of their mechanics. They talked about magic, they talked about spells, they talked about a few things that I felt would have been really interesting and cool if the Gotham Knights team would try their hands on something like that. They could talk about weapons, they could talk about the abilities, and these things, in my opinion, could really inform us. But I think at the time they showed this particular, alpha footage, there were things that they probably had not necessarily chosen to reveal, and the game was probably in a point of development where they needed to kind of bear down on some things more than anything else. And so now that playtests are going on, I think whatever they're getting feedback on in terms of the playtesters, in terms of maybe focus groups, are probably, in my opinion, needing to be finalized and made known to the community so that we can start getting a lot more details about this particular game. But pretty much that's all I wanted to share for today. Maybe in the next few hours, we'll talk a little bit more extensively about Gotham Knights. I really appreciate you guys for hanging in and even continuing to support the channel. Thank you very much for all of that. And hopefully we'll talk very soon. Peace out.